Welcome back to Faith in Question. Most Christians believe that unbelievers are going to hell, but today we're going to talk about one group of Christians who thinks that every other group of Christians are also going to hell. Let's get right into that. If you haven't spent a lot of time in Christian circles, it's likely that you've not heard of the IFB, which stands for Independent Fundamental Baptist. Now, this unfortunately was the church that I grew up in and went to for almost 30 years. I even went to an IFB Bible college thinking that I might one day serve in the ministry. Well, all that's in the past, and I eventually woke up and started reading the Bible for myself. From my studies, I have questions about Christianity across the board, but the IFB is different. They believe that people who go to other churches, other Christians, are actually going to hell. And so today I'm going to give you 10 reasons why the IFB believe that other Christians are actually going to hell. Now, reason number one is worldly worship practices. You might say, what the hell is that? Well, think about things like having a contemporary worship band in church. If you're part of the IFB, you only sing hymns, so having a rock band up on stage or drums that are up on stage, that is a major no-no that you shouldn't have. They'll even go as far as saying that the person playing the piano for the worship service must be sitting down, because when you stand up and play the piano, now you look like you're a rock band player and you are now of the world. Now, they point to all kinds of passages to back this up, but at the end of the day, they simply believe that old-fashioned religion is much better, and that's what God intended. And that leads me to number two, which is they only read the King James Version Bible. If you're reading a Bible that is other than the King James Version, they believe you have the wrong translation of the Bible, and therefore, you might be on your way to hell. This is another old-fashioned principle that they hold in the IFB, because the King James Version Bible is the Bible that was translated in 1607. It's over 400 years old, and they believe this was the best translation. They even go as far as thinking that this may be an inspired translation by God himself. So that's number two. Now I'm going to start to go through these more quickly. Make sure you stick around though for numbers 9 and 10, because I guarantee you probably haven't heard these before. Now for number three, it's churches that believe that baptism is necessary for salvation. There's a number of churches that actually include baptism as a part of their salvation process. The Roman Catholic Church is the most prominent of these. But the IFB believes that if there is anything that is necessary besides calling upon the name of the Lord to be saved, then you are now doing works for your salvation, and therefore you might be on your way to hell. Number four, speaking in tongues. This is a major no-no for the Independent Fundamental Baptist. They believe that speaking in tongues was only for a time and for a season, and that Paul put an end to this in his writings later on. So for those who are still catching the Spirit and speaking in tongues, playing with snakes in a church service, that's going to send you straight to hell. Now, number five is hierarchical church systems. So again, think of the Roman Catholic Church. You have the Pope all the way at the top, and then many other layers beneath them, but the priest of that parish has someone that they report into. Independent Baptists do not subscribe to this at all. They believe their pastor is the man of God. He works directly with God, and that's who you should be learning from. He's not accountable to anyone else, and it makes you kind of understand why we keep on having instances of IFB pastors who are sleeping with young teenage girls or touching little boys. When there's no accountability, you can definitely run into problems. But if you have a hierarchy in your church system, they think that might send you to hell. Now, before I get into number six, come on. If you're still watching at this point, you know how this works. Make sure that you're subscribed to this channel and hit the like button to make sure others are seeing this on their feed. I really appreciate it. So moving on to number six, this one's kind of a funny one, but it's having your kids in the public school system. IFB churches do not like public schools, mostly because they teach evolution in their textbooks, and that's a major no-no for the IFB. So you either go to the Christian school that they are actually setting up within their church, or if you can't afford Christian school, you must homeschool your kids. But putting them in public school, that's not okay. Number seven is a lack of evangelism. Independent Baptists are known for going door to door, just like the Jehovah's Witnesses and the Mormons do, but a lot of churches these days don't actually do door-to-door soul winning anymore. And the IFB believes if you're not doing evangelism, you're not following the Great Commission, probably not reading the Bible the right way, and might be on your way to hell. Now, number 8 is kind of a funny one, which is eternal security. The IFB believes in once saved, always saved. So since I grew up in an IFB church, even though I question my faith today, they still believe that because I made a true profession of faith, that I am still on my way to heaven. Even if I turned into an atheist for the rest of my life, I am still on my way there. I don't have the choice of being able to reject God at this point. Once saved, always saved. If you don't believe in that and you think faith is continual, well, you're reading your Bible wrong, and you probably got some other things wrong too. Now, I told you number 9 and 10 you probably hadn't heard before, so let's see how we do here. But number 9, voting for a Democrat. Oh, major no-no. The IFB, these are the most conservative of the evangelicals. They only vote for the Republican Party, and they are single-issue voters. It comes down to abortion. And for abortion reasons alone, you cannot support someone on the left. You cannot vote for a Democrat. If you go to a church that allows you to do that and to think on your own, you're on your way to hell. And lastly, number 10, drum roll please, dancing. That's right, dancing. This is a major no-no in the IFB. They go so far with this one that we often made the joke that the IFB is against premarital sex because it might lead to dancing. So anything that causes you to want to dance or move your hips is wrong. And that's why they don't have drums on stage. That's why they don't have upbeat music in the church. They do not want you dancing, even though you see over and over again in Psalms and other areas that you're supposed to dance to the Lord. It's commanded. They do not like this one. So those are 10 reasons why the IFB believes that other Christians are actually going to hell. I want to know what you think about this one. Did you know about these? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and maybe some that I've actually missed, because there's a few more in my mind that I didn't have time to get to in this episode. So that's all for today. Again, make sure you're subscribed so you keep on seeing content coming out from the channel, and think about sharing this video with someone you know who may have been in the IFB or has never heard about it before, because it really is interesting stuff. This has been another episode of Faith in Question, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next time.